This film contains commentary, opinion, and dramatized content for the purpose of education, analysis, and creative expression under the principles of fair use.
Give me a sign.
The producers, the musicians, the designers, moved us all out to Hollywood, moved us all out to New York, chasing gold statues. Chasing gold statues. Chasing gold statues.
Then 4 hours later, there were over 200 paparazzi outside my house videotaping me through a window of an ambulance holding me down on a groomer. I know now it was all premeditated. A woman introduced the idea to my dad, and my mom actually helped him follow through and made it all happen. It was all basically set up. There was no drugs in my system, no alcohol, nothing. It was pure abuse. And I haven't even really shared even half of it.
I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever.
After the 2 weeks of being hospitalized and completely traumatized out of my mind, I did a TV show called How I Met Your Mother, and then I started working on an album called Circus, and started working away right away. All I do remember is I had to do what I was told.
A rhythm too perfect to question, a promise of light in a world built from shadows. Every empire needs its offerings, and in this empire, the offering is innocence. Children raised on applause, trained to sparkle, shaped to sell. Behind every spotlight waits a hand that built it. Behind every hit, a contract. And behind every contract, a hunger that has forgotten God. The camera flashes like lightning. The crowd worships what it cannot understand. But somewhere beneath the glitter, the gears are turning. And once the gears begin, they do not stop. They call it an opportunity. They call it fame. But the faithful know another name for it: temptation. The machine hums, whispering just one more hit, one more tour, one more sacrifice, and the line between art and altar disappears. Because when the world builds its idols, it never asks what must be burned to keep the fire alive.
I think it was more of an excitement at first. And there's the honeymoon stage to it. It seems like everything's fabulous. Oh, look at the trips that, she gets to go on, and look at all the wonderful things that she's exposed to and all the wonderful people that she gets to meet. There was that honeymoon period.
The long-term effects of overbearing, achievement-oriented parents are really sad. One of many major outcomes is that the child does not develop their own sense of self because they've existed as an extension of their guardian's identity. The child has absorbed the narrative of who they are, what they can do, who they ought to be from their parent, and it's impossible to live up to. Yet they fear they won't be lovable if they fall short. If I'm being candid, when we celebrate kid performers who've made it as adults and who are now household names, sometimes I wonder how many of them have taken the chance to do this deeper self-work and deconstruct.
But it's really weird. I enjoy my life and I love what I do, but at the same time, even though we didn't have that much then, I was really happy. Looking back right now, just the simplicity of life, it was very nice.
We're going shopping, Dad.
You know what I love most about this business? It's not the music. It's not the art. Hell, it's not even the fame. It's the parents. Those sweet, suburban, starry-eyed parents. They're the real investors in our little empire. They spend years, training their kids for us. Voice lessons, piano, dance, stage presence. They polish them up like show ponies and then trot them right to our doorstep. By the time they get here, they've already done half our job. All we have to do is slap on a contract, build a brand, and watch the money roll in.
I've generated several billion, and They really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Justin is now going into his second year of fighting for his freedom just to get out of this deal. And it's not even secret information that I'm getting from people close to him. This was reported. It's being talked about in Billboard. He is fighting for the freedom to put out the music that he wants. He can't put out music right now. He wants to get away from the people that he signed with at 13 years old to focus on his wife and his son and his values.
And I felt like a lot of the things were planned for me to do. And, being told what to do. And I was just like, for this one, I want to make it my baby. And I want to do it myself. And I was very strategic about the way I did it. And that's why it means so much to me.
I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney, and by contract, my own management could sue me if I didn't follow through with the tour.
Right next one is my so-called manager, Colonel Tom Clark. That colonel is an alien. Somebody call the FBI and tell them that he has abducted me. And he has locked me in this golden cage to keep me here forever with you, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm caught in the trap. I can't get out. 'Cause Colonel's got some big debts, baby.
I need you guys to really understand what's behind the music business. Where does the energy come from behind the artists? Okay, a lot of these artists and a lot of that LA activity is backed by the Mexican cartel.
Now you listen to me. The only thing that matters is that that man gets up on that stage tonight.
Family comes before everything.
If he was my son, I'd put him in a hospital.
And of course, this is a Presley Enterprises decision. Vernon?
What can you do for him, Dr. Nick?
I am saying that Michael Jackson died, unfortunately, from an accident based upon his actions.
Hand on heart, you don't believe that, do
what?
You? You made that up. That's just not true.
That's not the case.
Look, if you are his friend, you would not tell that story.
I was not present when Michael Jackson took matters in his own hand. Michael Jackson, as you have realized now, is a drug addict.
When I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look.
They would have Michael Jackson.
Or worse, yeah.
As fans are becoming increasingly worried for Britney Spears' safety, Kanye West is speaking out on how Hollywood handlers destroyed Britney with lithium.
The peel culture was deeply embedded in Hollywood. Studio executives controlled every part of a star's life, from their diets to their romantic partners. And that included their drug intake. If an actor was deemed too tired, they were sent to the studio doctor for a prescription. If they were gaining weight, the solution wasn't exercise or diet, was more pills. The same amphetamines that kept stars awake during filming were joined by barbiturates at night to help them sleep. A dangerous cycle began. Uppers in the morning, downers at night, day after day, week after week. Judy Garland was one of the earliest victims of this cycle.
Happy little
You can't write how nervous my hands get or how lost I might get when I have to remember, because I went through 5 years of psychoanalysis going back over a life that was no good to begin with. It's a little bit, I'm doing it purely for money because I deserve it. I've sung, I've entertained, I've pleased your children, I've pleased your wives, I've pleased you, you sons of and you can't deny that! They're not protecting me, they're gonna move the house away with the kids.
Amphetamines, like Adderall, they are stimulants, similar to cocaine, similar to caffeine. And so when you are on a drug that's a constant stimulant, it's going to increase the activity of certain organ systems, which over time can be an issue. There are going to be side effects. And it's important to remember, you cannot take a synthetic chemical for long term without there being some sort of side effect within the body. Even if we don't have a long-term study, which that's one of the issues, by the way, there aren't a lot of long-term studies on the side effects of ADHD medications. So prolonged use or short-term high-dose usage can result in deterioration of your cognitive or physical abilities.
When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way, but 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now. You can see there's not much of her left.
Gently down the stream.
They're not really listening to what I'm telling them. It's like, it's bad.
Among the bombshell revelations, that she had an abortion decades ago after a pregnancy with then-boyfriend Justin Timberlake. That disclosure coming through excerpts of the memoir released early to People magazine. The pregnancy was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy, Spears writes. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives, that we were way too young. The couple started dating when Timberlake was 18 and Spears just 17. The abortion, she recalls, is one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced.
This is so sweet. Okay. I'm emotional right now. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's pretty.
But how does she play as far as the support?
She's amazing. She is awesome.
Thanks, Mom, huh? You got emotional about your mom.
I did. Ew. Stupid.
No, it's not. My mom is here, and I would be doing the same thing. Because my mom gets me through everything, too, so you can just make me cry with you. She's a good one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Special. She got a good daughter.
Yep.
She got a good daughter.
Yeah.
Lynn, did you get sucked up into there's a naivete, obviously, but there's also the power of fame and the seduction of fame. Were you sucked into it?
You know what? I think it was more of an excitement at first.
I would like to be just like my mom. I would like to be just like her. She's such a spiritual person and such a beautiful lady. So.
My mom is the one who gave him the idea. My dad is not smart enough to ever think of a conservatorship.
You even said the fact that she was even in the hospital was not something that you
had orchestrated.
No.
It was a shock. You know, I mean, how did this happen?
E.T. spoke with Lynn in 2008, months after her daughter was placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold, which led to the 13-year conservatorship.
Does she ever talk to you about that time?
We don't really talk about that time. She kind of really shut me out. She shut us all out.
I will never get those years back, the singer said, adding that her mom secretly ruined her life. And yes, I will call her and Lou Taylor out on it. So take your whole I have no idea what's going on attitude and go F yourself. 4 exclamation marks. Taylor is Spears' former business manager and the founder of TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. In the New York Times Presents Controlling Britney Spears, the documentary accuses Taylor's TriStar associate Robin Greenhill of monitoring the pop star's iPhone by secretly mirroring her communications on an iPad that was kept in the safe.
You are fired! You are fired! You're fired! You're fired.
My name is Dr. Charles Sophie. I'm a psychiatrist. It's very hard to maintain a relationship with a spouse or partner who has a pre-existing mental illness. But not only in this case do you have that, you also have someone who didn't have a good foundation of a biological or a family of origin to know what a role modeling of a marriage should be or a relationship. I don't even know what her relationship as a child was like with her father. And so she's going to have trouble with men, and it's going to stir up a lot of issues for her with or without a mental illness, and it's going to be worse with a mental illness.
My name is Dr. Drew Pinsky. I'm a board-certified internist, board-certified addiction medicine specialist. It's an extremely difficult condition to be around and to care for. They are not well. Their brain isn't working right. If she evokes anger in you, be careful, because this isn't about you.
You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
He was only 34 years old. 5 months after his sudden passing, Carter drowned after inhalation of compressed gas and intake of alprazolam. The manner of death was ruled accidental.
Michael Jackson, as you have realized now, is a drug addict.
I've been in rooms at the top of the top, which albums are prayed over demonically. Music is prayed over demonically. That goes out to the world, goes out to the radio stations, goes out to the public. And when you see that stuff and know that stuff, it's frightening.
What do you mean by that, Shane, prayed over demonically?
Rituals, ceremonies to give light to the devil, to Satan. It's a satanic music industry. If you look at what the music is today, the industry is today, for all your Sam Smiths to your Dojo Cats to your Beyoncés they are so demonic, it's unbelievable. And we can't, it's in front of us. It's something that we kind of go, oh, it's just music. But it really isn't. It's absolutely taken over the world, taken over our children, and taken over everything that's coming to the times of world crisis.
What's even more strange about this contract was that not only were they not allowed, or would they not be allowed to say the name Jesus. He said they didn't say don't say God, specifically Jesus Christ, but it said that there will be certain consequences that will happen if you chose to say Jesus' name against the contract.
I would like to thank Jesus Christ and my family.
I heard John Todd's testimony on, the 70s, that guy that worked for Capitol Records, and he was specifically going up into the top realm of the Capitol building, and they would pray over every single album, attaching spirits to go with those albums. And I remember a comment that he made that really stuck in my head. You want to know how many demons you have in your home? Go count your records.
I said, do they still have the colon conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? So that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He said, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music.
Dad needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. But like I said, God would not allow that to happen to me if a God existed. I don't believe in God anymore because of the way my children and my family have treated me. There is nothing to believe anymore.
Your name may not appear down here in this world's Hall of Fame. In fact, you may be so unknown that no one knows your name. The Oscars and the praise of men may never come your way. But don't forget, God has rewards that He'll hand out someday. This crowd on earth, they will soon forget when you're not at the top. They will cheer like mad until you fall, and then their praise will stop, not God. He never does forget. And in His Hall of Fame, by just believing on His Son, forever there's your name. I tell you, friend, I wouldn't trade my name, however small, that's written there beyond the stars in that celestial hall, for all the famous names on earth, or the glory that they share. I'd rather be an unknown here and have my name up there.